Hi, my name is Vanessa Marquette, and welcome to What's Brewin. December is known as a season of giving, a time to give back to those in need. So today we are going to talk about the needs of our veterans and military families, particularly those at Syracuse University's Institute for Veterans and Military Families, also known as the Ivmf, and our Office of Veteran and Military Affairs, also known as the OVMA. So with that said, I welcome Paul Harris and Sarah Russell from our Ivmf and OVMA development team to have a discussion about this. Thank you both for joining today.
Thank you, Vanessa.
So can you start off by telling us what the mission of the development team is for the Ivmf and OVMA and how it ties back to Syracuse University?
Absolutely. Well, as a development officer, I am tasked with raising funds to support our programs here at the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, whether that's our career training programs and job placement support, our entrepreneurship programs, or our community-based services, and even our research and policy. We are tasked with meeting the needs of our programs and the service members, veterans, and military family members we serve. I see it as when I am looking to raise funds, I'm really connecting the donor with how they can help with the needs of those that we serve.
And the Ivmf and the OVMA have sort of different missions, and that OVMA is very sort of internal to Syracuse University, on campus related in the Syracuse region community. And so it's making, as Sarah said, making those connections and really trying to bridge the gap from the university to the community in a way that helps our military connected students.
So December is known as the season of giving, as I stated before. Can you tell us why those watching this should consider giving to the Ivmf and or the OVMA this holiday season?
Absolutely. So I mentioned the programs that the Ivmf offers to transitioning service members, veterans, and military family members. Through donor support, we have been able to provide 150,000, more than 150,000 of those we serve with opportunities to, get a job, a career certification, and to start a civilian career, to network with employers, to start a small business that they've always wanted to start, but maybe didn't know how to, and to get care within their communities. So by making a donation to the Ivmf, you're ensuring that a veteran or a military family member can really create the best opportunities for themselves in the post-service.
And for the OVMA, our students are largely made up of students that want to go in the military, but want to get their education first. So they come to Syracuse University, they attend the program, get a degree at the same time that they're going through ROTC training for Army or Air Force. Or they've transitioned, the veterans who have transitioned out of the military and are looking to use their GI Bill benefits to come to school and get education at Syracuse University. So while tuition dollars take care of some things, largely there are a bunch of things that it doesn't take care of. And these students really need, especially transitioning veterans, generally don't come to us with a whole lot of resources. And so scholarship and financial aid, anything we can do to help offset the cost. GI Bill doesn't cover everything. Anything we can do to help out in that regard, folks funding would be really appreciative. And that's generally, so there's that. Professional development opportunities. Anytime we can do things in regards to internship or training, or bring in speakers, or anything that sort of helps networking or helps them with their professional skills is really important. There's lots of programs that fall into the OVMA, and ceremonies and honors and those type of things that all require some funding. We use a funding venue called the Veteran Legacy Fund, in which the leadership of the OVMA are able to distribute funds to people who need it. And sometimes that funding goes to people who are just short on paying rent. Sometimes it's for books and scholarships. Sometimes it's for things as simple as bedding and food, right? Sometimes, so whatever the need is, we try to disperse that funding But that funding all comes from external sources. And so we're always very grateful to everyone on Facebook and elsewhere in the community who thinks about those military connected students at this time of year and wants to help them out.
Well, thank you for explaining how the funding works and where it goes. So can you tell us some of the differences that Ivmf and OVMA have made so far because of the generosity of our donors?
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to be a little more specific with the lives that the Ivmf has impacted because of our programs. So I'll mention an Ivmf alum who was able to find her career path in the post-service because of our Onward to Opportunity career training. She actually gave back, she made a donation to the Ivmf with her first paycheck because she was so grateful for the Ivmf and providing her that career certification, so that professional certification, so she could move into a civilian career. And I also want to mention military spouses that we have impacted through our career training and through our small business training. It's given them the opportunity to either get a promotion at their job because they needed a professional certification, or to start their own business. So, you know, with moving around with their active duty service member, they've been able to, you know, continue supporting their family and finding a fulfilling career as a small business owner because of our entrepreneurship programs. So those are just some examples of, you know, the lives that are truly impacted because of the donor support that we receive. You know, we are able to provide our programs either at little or no cost to our participants because we are donor funded. That has been a mission from the beginning. 10 years ago when the Ivmf was founded, the Ivmf made it a priority to make sure that service members, veterans, and military family members could receive these programs because the Ivmf felt like it was our duty to give back for all that they've done for us. So through that support that we receive from generous donors, and it doesn't matter what level of support, all support, you know, helps fund our programs. We're able to help those we serve directly.
That's great.
Yeah, I'd like to tell the story of James Lyons, who was a gentleman who went to school here at Syracuse, went through the ROTC program, was a part of the Deke fraternity. James, upon graduation, entered the military and was immediately sent to Afghanistan. He unfortunately holds the distinction of being the first Syracuse University grad that we know who was killed in combat. His story is interesting. He was actually off duty one night when he was asked if he would help rescue some people who were trapped in a building. He drove a tank to the site. The only way in was to use the tank as a ram through the wall, broke down the wall of the building so people could get out. But in the course of that sort of heroic action, the tank was disabled, and when James got out of the tank, he was killed by a sniper. His parents and the Deke fraternity, in wanting to honor his memory in his time at Syracuse, decided to create a scholarship. The scholarship that would go to honor the children of fallen veterans or wounded veterans. So it's that sort of thing that we're still always raising money for. The fraternity and the parents and the greater Syracuse University, especially athletic community, has chipped in and has really tried to make this a special scholarship for those individuals. But it's those type of funding needs that we have that are extremely beneficial to our students.
Yeah, and we honored James Lyons and his family back in October here, which was really a touching ceremony.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing those. And how can one donate to the IVMF or OVMA?
So if someone would like to make a donation to the IVMF, they can go to ivmf.syracuse.edu/support. And if someone would like to give to the OVMA, they can go to veterans.syr.edu/support.
Well, thank you both for joining today, and thanks to everyone for considering giving back to those who serve our country